No, now you can see the lines, right?
Now I can see the lines. Yeah.
There you go. Well, here we go. Matt Duhon. Finally, hopefully, everybody gets to see what you look like.
Yeah.
Remember
Maybe
last time
maybe this
it
go around.
didn't save that. So just so everybody out there knows, we're doing another episode of the Anchor Up podcast. My guest today is the amazing and talented Mr. Matt Duhon.
You're too kind. Way
No
too kind.
way, dude. Jack of all trades, master of many, but a
Master of
very
none.
humble guy, for sure. So, Matt, thanks for coming on again. I appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into it, man. What's been going on?
Dude, as you know, the world is changing out from under us,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the big news of the day, and I'm not supposed to say anything, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. I quit my job this week.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
What happened?
A better offer with a much bigger company.
No kidding.
Mhm.
Talent's finally realized? Is that what that is?
I don't know, man. It just, this is one of those things that you can't ignore it.
Look, man, I understand 100%. I've been there and I've done that, and I've actually done it way more than I wanted to since retirement from the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you look at just trying to find the right opportunity and trying to find the thing that fits the most, you got to take a lot of stuff into consideration. So,
Yeah.
congratulations, dude.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. It's not just me either.
No kidding.
Yeah.
The other half as well.
The other half as well.
No way.
Nobody knows.
Same industry?
Same industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So
Yep.
we're not going to get into all of that, but tell me about what you guys are going to do. Same kind of thing? You're still going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be very similar, but it's going to be amped up even more. We're going to work for another team. We're going to be the marketing leg of that team. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's awesome, man.
It's pretty intense, man. Like
are you guys bringing people on the train to help?
No. Mm-mm.
That's
if they get recruited, that's a kind of between them and the company, but we're not taking anything from the current company or anything. It's just I think that part of the transition so far is going really well. But this has easily been the hardest thing I've had to do personally and professionally.
Matt, I just did the same thing. We've talked about it, man. Sometimes you got to make decisions that you don't like, and sometimes it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But you still feel so bad for doing it. You know
Sucks,
what I mean?
Like, this is the worst.
Yeah, but you got to think about it this way. You guys probably only feel bad because you just liked who you were working with.
Yeah.
You get the support and they see your value and they like everything you're doing. I guess the only problem is somebody saw a better value in it, right?
That's it, man. And you feel like you're cheating is what you feel like. You feel like
you guys know that you have worked so tirelessly to get where you're at. Yeah. And so that means it's not luck, man.
No.
I talked to a guy on a podcast a little while back that he was like, there is no luck, right? I mean, luck in our world is being in the right place at the right time, right?
Yeah.
So the opportunity presents itself and then you're able to go out and do it. But the opportunity, or the luck, as a lot of people call it, comes from the work that you put in and the proof source that you've put out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys do an amazing thing. It's not duplicatable, which is the reason why people reach out.
I think that the luck side of the thing is what do they say? It's the intersection between opportunity and preparation.
For sure.
And we were prepared, so it's time to it's time to move on, so, and we can certainly talk off air about some of the more
sure, dude,
some of the details too, but
that's great news. So let's talk about some other stuff, man. So how is how's the new house? You've been in there for a bit. Got a putting green kicking up. Like lots
Oh
of
man,
people should be jealous, man. You're gonna be out in
it's
the backyard putting, drinking
it's going.
some nice drinks, and just hanging out.
I am. Let's see here. Let me show you some pictures. If I want to show you. Oh wait, no, that's not it. So I don't know if you can see that.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
got it
awesome.
all cut in, and then so from the other side of the backyard. Do you see that fence way in the back?
Yeah,
That's that's one of the shots. So it's 43 yards into the green, and then the
that's
other
cheating.
shot from the other direction
That's
back to that.
cheating, dude.
It's 35 yards into the green.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm so freaking stoked. This is the one thing. This is one of those things that I think everybody should do. I'm having more fun at my house because I have this like super intense project.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's gonna take me years to get this thing right. And I'm so excited to like have this for better or for worse, like Zen garden kind of deal going on
yeah.
where I
That's your
get
version of a she shed, dude.
yeah, no, that's it. That's it. I go
Yeah,
out there and I like stand and look at it, just look at it. And because I mean, it's just dirt right now, right? I mean,
yeah.
I did plant it. I planted the dwarf Bermuda grass on Masters weekend. So like, I don't know, a couple weekends ago. Um, and it's
That's an
just now
appropriate
starting.
weekend to get a putting green ready.
That's it, right?
That's goals right there.
That's it, man. So so it started growing. It started to sprout like last week, and so
Nice.
so now I'm just out there raking it, pulling out weeds, and it's the
That's
coolest thing,
amazing.
man. It's
Bro, like
I'm
listen,
such a
when you
nerd.
told me you were like, oh, I'm putting a putting green in my backyard, right? So this guy right here, because I tend to do things like that for like speed of use, right? I'm gonna go buy some like carpet thing. I'm gonna put it in the back, and you're like, no, 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 no. Like I put a legit golf course green in my backyard, and I
Yeah,
was like, whatever. You're like, no, like I bought the grass. It's different. I was like, geez, dude, you didn't go for the pool. You went for the golf.
the pool is going to come way later when I can actually afford a pool.
Are you gonna put like a glass walkway in the pool and put like a little chipping deck from the pool to go to the green?
No, I'm gonna chip over the pool. So I'm gonna have I've got some I've
Water
got
hazard.
some yeah, basically.
At least this time you'll be able to find those balls, right?
Right.
That's
Um
awesome, dude.
yeah, man, it's super cool. It's just such a fun little experiment because now I have to learn about it all. I gotta figure out, you know, okay, what type of fertilizer do I use? What time do I do this? What time do I do what? So it's this whole world that I mean, I know it because I came from a landscaping world, but this is like way more intense. So
Yeah, but I couldn't believe when you and I were talking about it. You were like, "Man, I'm putting this green in, and it's going to be awesome." And you're like, "Oh, and by the way, there's like a thread where I can go watch other people that are doing the same thing and learn from like their mistakes and how they didn't do it right, and then I'm going to get mine right." And I was like, "There's like a YouTube how to
yeah,
on
no,
a
this guy,
putting green in your backyard."
there's a guy that has an entire like, I mean, it's crazy. There's like 30. He's got like 300,000 subscribers on YouTube about building a golf green in your backyard.
Dude.
I mean, if that's not a testament to, you know, there's riches in the niches.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know what is.
Yeah, but think about it this way too. You have to be committed to that. Like
Yeah,
I'm committed to making this channel. I'm going to do it right. I'm
right.
going to I'm going to lay it out and like you're committed to doing that. It takes a different level of commitment. Who
It's
else is going to like take the time? Like people have a hard enough time in the worlds we come from when you're talking about a real estate world or you're talking about just sales in general, e-commerce, all those things. People have a hard enough time like getting their product out there. And this dude has 300,000 people that really care about his golf green in his backyard.
right. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
And the guy knows everything about it. I mean, and he's got a store that supports all. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's a wonderful uh, like testament to monetization, the monetization of a
Oh, for
community.
sure. That dude is making money. Maybe
Oh
he's
no,
making enough side money. And
he's
when he, like, if he is
all he
retired
does.
or he retires soon,
No, he's about
like,
our age.
well, but I mean, when he retires, like, he's already set himself up for that. I'm bored. I need something to do to make money.
Yeah.
Like, his is in his backyard and he's already doing it.
No, yeah, he's. I mean, the guy makes a ton of money. He's doing extremely well
I need to talk to that
because
guy.
these products are expensive and you have to buy them all the time. And once you get to this point, like even the point I'm at already, like there's no way I'm going to let this thing grow over now. I've got
Oh, no, you're committed, dude.
committed. I've got too much into it, and no
Yeah.
money. I mean, I've spent $50 on seed. That's it.
Yeah,
But
but you haven't even gotten to the part yet where you're going to be spending the money, right?
right,
Because
yeah,
we already know, bro. We already know that automatic roller for the golf greens
uh-huh,
coming soon,
yeah,
and then you got to get the aerator to put the holes in, and
yeah,
then you're gonna be that guy. You're gonna be like, "What's the hardest shot I have on a golf course?"
yeah.
Back right in the green. Oh, well, that's where we're putting the hole today.
I'm putting a hole. Exactly. I got to get one of those hole cutter deals so I can move it
Oh,
around.
that's awesome.
You know.
You should just do it like most what do we call it? DIY guys. Just go to the golf course and be like, "Hey man, you guys have any of these things that you just are getting rid of because they've used their life? Like I could take
Man,
it
I
off your
need
hands."
to. I need to really, really bad because I need a really good reel mower. And I have like a cheapo reel mower that I've got modified to cut down at like an eighth of an inch, so I can cut it right, but it's not going to look great. It'll be more like a chipping green until I can get an actual like awesome reel mower,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like I said, I don't think this thing is going to putt like a golf course for 2 years.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like there's you're in such a small space.
hmm
It needs time,
hmm
you know?
Yeah, that's it. And like you said, I mean, I got to go get the rollers and I got to get the leveling rakes and I got to, I'm going to have to buy growth regulator and like all this random weird stuff that,
You're going to be the only guy in the neighborhood, maybe the only guy in Texas that is using the Farmer's Almanac again. Like, yep, it's right about that time. It's the perfect time to grow that grass. The almanac says so. People are going to be like, "What are you talking about? This is the Bible."
hang on real quick. Dang it. Sorry, we're going to have to cut this out.
It's a good thing I can do that. I learned how to do some stuff. I know how to cut some video.
Yeah. Sorry, somebody wants me to go somewhere in like 30 minutes, and I told them I can't leave for another hour at least. So,
Yeah,
trying to
nice.
carve some time out. Um,
So for you guys, is it going to be another? You're going to be doing another nationwide kind of deal, or are you guys going to be hyper local?
no, well, no, we will be within the confines of like 7 or 8 states.
That's way better.
Yeah, it kind of is. So,
Well, I mean, it is because when you think about it, I think one of the things that was a little different, and I kind of realized, right, going from being in one place trying to work and do things in the real estate industry, and then having that the overreaching like nationwide, right?
yeah,
And the thing was, why stay in one place when you can help people everywhere? And I was like, that's a good idea. And then when you go to do it, actually, you're like, oh my, like it's overwhelming sometimes, just because you got to learn about all the different places, and when you like, it's amazing to see how much different real estate is everywhere,
yeah,
right? When it comes to getting a mortgage or purchasing a home or whatever it is, even for what we did, veterans, like what the requirement is for the VA in a different place, right? Especially when it comes into what's required for inspections and who can do this and who can do that.
yeah,
You almost put yourself, in some cases, in a very uncomfortable, potentially disastrous position if you don't know everything, you know?
yeah,
And so if you're able to kind of dial down into a couple of places, right? You become really good at there, right? Experts in one place. Once you're an expert there, then you can kind of branch out. And I think that for me, I think I went too quick, right? I probably should have been a little more local in that manner. Like
Mm.
I had no problem talking and doing all those things, but then it's like just the level of it and the communication and the times that you talk to people and how it works. It was a different feeling. And I think for me, being more local, right? Because then I can actually reach out and touch and talk and meet and see you. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
there's a difference in that. But being a little more regional, I guess you'd say, yeah, smaller audience.
Good.
There's more people you guys are going to reach. Actually,
Yeah, so I agree with that. And one of the thoughts, even though we're going to have a much bigger budget, focusing on just a handful of states, I want to pare that back even further and focus on a single big city to start, and then just dominate.
yeah,
It's the Uber model. Uber had the ability to scale their technology out to the entire country at any time. What they didn't have, they had to build themselves a two-sided marketplace. So in any good two-sided marketplace, you have to build the supply in before you can build the demand. And so that's why they pared it back down to, I think they started in New York or something like that. And maybe it could have been another city, but um, but at the end of the day, that's what they did. So they had technically they could have gone to everywhere, the entire country, but it would have failed.
yeah. Today you can go everywhere. Like I'm trying to reach everywhere, just doing this.
Right. Well,
This is way different,
yeah,
right?
it's
It's
a
way
different business
different.
model. And so for us, the idea is, our team is going to be based out of, it's going to be based out of another state. So we're not even going to be able to operate here in my home state, our home state, which is good, I guess. So so with that being said, like, that idea that we can dominate a specific area and then move from city to city while we still continue to teach that original city. So, we basically just get a foothold in there, a thumb in the crack, kind of deal. And then we just really focus on that. That's the overarching difference in what we do here versus what we're going to do at this new place is the focus aspect. I mean, you know as well as I do, we were all over the map with lots of different initiatives.
Yep.
Different, 4 or 5 different initiatives per week. They were getting thrown, onto our plate to go, you know, see if we could do something with. Well,
Well, and it took away from the thing that
actually worked.
the basics,
Yeah.
right? Brilliance on the basics. Like the thing that made it great is the thing that was forgotten about.
Right.
And that's the thing that brought the most to the table. And it's, not good, bad, or indifferent or whatever. That's kind of what I was talking about and looking at being like branching out everywhere, why it
Uh-huh.
was overwhelming. It's not the fact that you're doing it in a whole bunch of different places and you have to learn all those different places and how they operate. From the perspective I was in, it was like I haven't we haven't seen or talked to or interacted the same way with everybody the way we were before. We weren't, you know, as a group building to go
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
I'm like I think I told you guys like I mean again, like we talked about earlier, it's one of those things that you don't want to go. You love it there. You love the support. You love everything that's about it. But then it's the one or two things that change.
Yeah.
It's the model of we were building and building and building and everybody was together. And then all of a sudden,
We weren't.
you just stop seeing people.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is it's like being in a rock band, right? We want to be the best rock band ever. We got one hit, and the lead singer is now Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and
Right.
he's unbearable. And what made us great was the humble beginning of what we were doing and just going, like, truly, we want to go help.
Mhm.
And anytime it turns into you need to, in any case, make more money because it's what we're here to do, that always gets in the way of great ideas.
I know.
It just does.
So it's complicated, right? It's a complicated emotion, this whole thing, and you're exactly right. And we got away from what works. And this, for me, this is a lesson in, other businesses that my wife and I have. And whenever we're looking at scaling a project or building something, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Um, there should be a life cycle to the marketing aspect, to building reach for the particular product or service. And so what I found is that, and this is the lesson, right? What I found is that we've got, in the beginning, you go out and you do one-to-one cold, not maybe not cold, but you do one-to-one outreach, right? You can reach 50 people with phone calls and glad handing and just walking into an office and doing the ground and pound type of work. The next step is, let's call it, 50 to 100 people or 50 to 500 people, or customers, whatever. That's where you need to get a little bit more creative and you start to throw, everything at the wall. Well, and I think we did that. What we didn't do is kill the things that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I'm saying is that, you never stop doing the ground and pound, right? You got to always do that because that keeps you
Oh, you're always in the hustle.
always in the hustle. When you start to throw things at the wall, different initiatives to go try, if they work, you need to not forget about them. You need to double down on those things that work, and you need to be fast to cut the things that don't. One of the other big, so the life cycle, right? That should continue. So now you've got a couple of things that work. Now you double down on them. Now you're going from 500 people to 1,000. 500 customers to 1,000 customers. Or during that span, you're finding the few things that did work. You're killing the ones that don't work as well, and you're going with the things that work unbelievably, and you 10x on those. Right.
For sure. I think the biggest problem with you guys and what happened, and this is, an outsider looking in, because I'm kind of going through the same thing right now. Becky and I are trying to
Mm-hmm.
build a t-shirt company, right? Like
Sure.
we're building that brand and we're trying to build it up and
Your t-shirts
just
are
offer.
amazing too, by the way.
Yeah, and we're just offering something that, like, the reality is we're offering something that people can get it anywhere, right? You can get a t-shirt anywhere.
Yeah, you can.
But now we're trying to, and I talked to with someone on the podcast a little while back that'll be going up soon, that his whole business is SEO.
Yeah.
Then I talked to another guy that is like a mentor for entrepreneurs.
Uh-huh.
So they get into his program and he runs it a little bit different. They don't just mentor you till you get there and then let go. They kind of mentor and help with the funding part. Like they roll it all in one, right? What they try to do is get you bigger and move forward. Well, they were like, it's your offer. What are you offering those people? And it was unique to me because when I do real estate and I talk to people about purchasing homes and all these things, and they always want you to get the contract signed right away, right? And I tell my agents all the time, I'm like, well, what have you done to earn the right to work with that person, right? Why in the first moment you meet them, do real estate agents go, and I'll probably get like hammered for what I say here, but why am I going to have you sign an agreement to work with me that makes you exclusive to me and we've not looked at a house? I haven't talked to you about what you want. All I've said is, like, in order for me to work with you, you have to sign this representation agreement. And I tell all of my people, like, you need to earn that.
Yeah.
Like, you need to go do the work to earn the right to ask them for their business, right? It is not assumed or known that you're just going to work with me because you talked to me today. I have to earn the right to work with you. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that. Like, you got to earn that right. So we're trying to figure out what our offer is. How do we earn the right to get it in front of more people and do those things in the scale up? And I think with you guys, the first thing you guys put it into was very raw, right? We were all there. We were
Right.
throwing videos on
Right.
Facebook and just talking about things. But then the idea of what came from that, the education piece, flows from there, and it was huge success.
Yeah.
right? And because of that success and because you guys dialed it in so well, I think it was like, well, if they can do that, then to your point a little bit ago, they can do this and this and this and this and this and
Yes.
this.
Yes.
And it was like, well, you should just be able to do the same thing with this thing right here. It's kind of the same. And it's like, it's not really the same. Like you guys wanted us to talk to a specific target audience for a specific reason. And we were building something for that reason. And that's why I'm saying, like, towards the end of how it went, and it's part of the reason that I moved on from it. It just wasn't even built the same anymore.
Yeah.
Like what we were saying we were doing, we couldn't truly say that anymore.
I know. I know.
And that's not good or bad, because we're there to help whoever we're working with. Like we don't make that decision. And if we could have made that decision, then we definitely wouldn't have the money to just say whatever. What is it? We would have had that screw you money. And if we
Yeah.
had that, we'd have been good.
Right.
But unfortunately we don't. So we had to work through it. And so it was just those changes. But I think you guys and I'm assuming you're getting back to the grassroots of it, right?
Yep.
Let's get back into what we were doing and
Yep.
flow from there.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be a
it's
lot
exciting,
more.
man.
It's going to be a lot more social media focused. It's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a
So
lot more content driven.
we're going to finally get to that YouTube channel now.
Finally, get to that YouTube channel.
Oh,
It's a big part of it.
Man, that's where it's at.
That's
How uncomfortable do you think that's going to be?
It'll be fine.
I mean, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. I've been pushing for that for years.
Yeah.
Stop teaching the same live class over and over and over. I mean, we taught 400 of them in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
400 live, the same class. I mean, in my world, that's the definition of insanity.
Well, and it is, but if you're going to teach a class like that, the one thing that he could do that would meet that model, motivational speaking, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That you go out and speak the same message and talk and do all that stuff.
Sure.
I mean, and let's be, what you guys are teaching is, I mean, there's no really other way to teach that thing, but there are other ways to connect and reach out, right?
Yeah.
And so again, it's amazing to see, like, when people are really good at something, they just assume that they can be really good at everything.
Yeah.
And you and I used to talk about stuff like that when we were, still together, is like, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Like, one, I don't like, I used to call you, but like, dude, you don't like me anymore? Like, what's going on? Right? You're like, dude, they got me doing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to realize, it's like, man, I don't even really get to talk to you guys that much anymore.
I know.
But
those part of
that's what we brought this together for, is to work together on it,
I know, right? And that's what that's part of it. Part of the change, right? And I'd be lying if I said that you weren't a part of that decision. Now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you moved on, right? That's a big. That was. You were a big part of the team, and it wasn't the same, anymore, right? And it's not to say that I don't love everybody else on our team, and I do, I definitely do.
Oh, for sure.
But at the end of the day, things changed, and I got pulled into. I was already pulled into this stuff, but I got half to 2/3 of my week was spent doing things that I knew didn't make a difference at all. Like, I mean, we're talking building landing pages for the company website that nobody went to. And I saw the traffic. I knew what was going on. And these things, some of these deals took hours and days to produce.
Yeah.
And they expected them to be turned around, quickly. And so it just took up a lot of time.
Well, and I could tell, I mean, towards the end of me, like, I could tell that the one thing I know about you is the things that you do. You probably are the definite. And the first time we talked podcast wise, we were talking about, a lot of people that say they love their job and this is all they ever want to do. And they wake up every day and they love it. Right. There's got to be something you don't like. But I notice for you, like, if you're doing the things that you feel are meaningful, like you just said, and you're like being creative, dude, you love it. You're good.
I do.
And I saw you turn into, like, this is a job.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And being creative for you, I mean, dude, you're an entrepreneur through and through, 100%. Like you've started so many businesses, you do so many things, and now you're still doing other things. And for shit's sake, you're putting a golf green in your backyard.
I can't sit still, man.
No, normal people are content with the one thing that they did. And then there's a lot of people that are willing to hang everything on the one thing they did in the past.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like childhood actors.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
only know them for that thing.
yeah.
And not very many of them are relevant later, but they're still relevant because of the things that you saw them in when you were a kid, because you remember that. For you though, Matt, like you're always looking for the next thing.
Yeah.
You
So
don't want to be known for what you did before. You want to be known for what you haven't done yet. I think that's a big difference in you.
no, so I heard there's two things to this. One, when I was young, I had started, I think we talked about this last one. I had started a sign company when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, and that was very successful. Well, during that process, or once when we were ramping that up, I was approached by a roofing company of all things to go start up this roofing, a commercial roofing brand. Um, and I didn't take it because I was like, roofing, you know, snooze, right? Like this is, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is boring. And mind you, right, I'm in the sign business. There's not much,
Yeah.
it's not much
Yeah.
better.
The cost of a sign versus the cost of a roof. We
Oh,
weren't really thinking that one through.
no, it really wasn't. That's exactly the point, right? So my buddy, one of my buddies took the job, and he calls me, I don't know, maybe 3 years later, 4 years later, a clean millionaire. Right? He went from nothing to $1 million in the bank, right? In like 3 or 4 years. And it was just, and I vowed at that point, I was like, I will never, ever, ever not fully think through an opportunity that I think is worth, that has some merit.
For sure.
And so I created, or I didn't create, I found this business planning outline that I run ideas through. It's like a machine, you know. I take a couple of hours and I do a quick business plan, pro forma, SWOT analysis, all that stuff. It takes a couple hours, and then I sit on it for a few days, and then I'll rerun it through with whatever new information or new thoughts that have come through my head after it's had time to kind of marinate. And what happens is most of the ideas don't meet the standard. And so this is kind of this is my process, right? Most of the ideas don't meet the standard. They're not, they're not interesting enough. They're not profitable enough. They're not, whatever it is. And because I need to be, we could all go out and start insurance companies and be successful, more than likely, but that's just
I
bores
mean,
living crap.
everybody could do it, but to be successful, I don't think people see how much it would take to do that, right?
No, no,
But that's kind of what you're doing. You're
100%.
like
I'm just throwing
Xing it
something
off
out
the
there,
list.
and I'm not saying anything bad about insurance
No.
people, but at the end of the day, it's a widget, right? We could all go
Hmm.
find something and build it,
Well,
but
but it's also established, right? Like the
yeah,
path to success for that
yeah, it's right there.
is there. And in most cases, people don't succeed because one, they don't have the time or patience to do it, or
Mhm.
two, you're going to need a little bit of money to make some money. So I think that, but the path to success is there.
Yeah,
Follow this and you're going to be good. Like you could look at how many different places and realize that it's successful.
yeah. So that was the first thing, right? I'm never gonna not fully vet out an opportunity. And the second was, I want to reinvent myself every 2 years. Now I'm a little, I guess I'm close to on, but either way, right? I want to. And so my grandfather used to have this saying. It was short, succinct, and it followed me everywhere. Progress equals happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if I'm not moving forward, and that doesn't mean like working toward getting a raise. I mean like, no, and it doesn't have to be big steps, but like if I'm not working for something that's in the future, um, and making progress, I'm not happy. I'm not at all happy. I'm
Yeah, well, that's creativity for you.
Yeah, because
You're a super creative person, but you're also a very calculated creative person. I think, which is
Yeah,
a little,
I like to
it's a
choose
little,
what to
it's
spend
unique, dude.
I like to
It's
choose
unique.
what to spend my time on. You know,
Yeah, but most creative people can't do that. Most creative people are like, I got this idea and oops, squirrel, that idea, oops, squirrel, that idea. And I think you guys got caught up in that
yeah, we
because
did,
other people saw the light in the tree,
we did.
but you guys are trying to focus down the road and people, kept trying to, it was like you guys are now celebrities.
Yeah,
Like you just equate it that way. You showed up to the red carpet and everybody wants your picture and everybody wants to talk to you and everybody wants to pull your shirt sleeve and everybody wants your attention.
hmm
And you guys are like, everybody wants our attention. And you know what we haven't done? The thing
the thing.
that we need to do. Like we can't do what we need to do, right?
Yeah,
Does that make
no,
sense, man?
that's actually like pretty close to it. Everybody's looking at us. Oh, you can, because you can do it. Doesn't mean you always should do it. You know.
Yeah. And then other people are like, what, you don't think you can do it? And you're like, no, I like, we could definitely do it.
Yeah. Why don't you
But
want
I think the difference is like, we don't want to, or it's just not going to be what you guys want. And other people don't see that, right?
to? Yeah,
And that's when it becomes a job because other people are like, well, that's what we're going to do. And you guys are like, oh, okay, well,
you gotta kill things that aren't worth your time.
yeah.
And it's really not even worth your time, because some things are worth your time in the moment. Um, but they're not worth your time in the future. And I think that's where you need to really be thinking, like, is this thing worth my time a year from now? Or is it going to get me where I need to go? And this gets back into the planning, right? All of these different things. I, I like to live my life in frameworks. I like to have a pathway to the goal, which means that I have to set the goal, and then from there I can back into what it's going to take for me to get there.
So, I learned that in college,
Yeah,
but I didn't really think about it. And I still haven't implemented exactly what you just said 100% fully. And I'm working to do that like
none of us
all the
have.
time.
Like, I mean,
But you, and we've talked about that very thing you just talked about a
mhm,
lot, you and I, like
yeah,
in like detailed conversations about
absolutely.
things, little things like, how can we create this thing for all these people to do X, Y, or Z, and just idea wise, right? And every time you and I talk, you're like, well, what's the end result of this? And then can we work backwards from it? Like every time I talk to you, it's all about, well, this is where it's going to be. Back that up to how you're going to do it now to get that. And I'm
Let's-
always
So
like, man, that's a
let's
good point. I'm just looking at right now.
let's do it. Let's do it right now with the t-shirt company.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the end goal? What's your goal? Your 1 year revenue goal and your 5 year revenue goal today.
Well, I mean, 1 year revenue goal, you'd like to be at 100,000 just
Okay.
because doing it part time and not it not being the thing that you want to do, right?
Yep.
100,000 means that you've scaled up, you've
Yep.
gotten a little more things, and more people are seeing it, which means by the time you get to 100,000, you're not driving to every trade show and you're not doing the legwork that it requires to do.
Yeah.
And in 5 years, 500,000 to $700,000 consistently
Okay.
is where we want to be.
So you got to grow. What is that? Give or take 10% a year in
Hmm.
order to hit those numbers.
Not a huge number, and we also got to take into account we're in a super competitive landscape.
No, you got to grow better,
Super
more than that,
competitive.
like 20%, isn't it? I don't know. I don't do
People
public
make
math.
t-shirts every day.
I don't do public math anymore. That's something
I don't either.
that's something I
I
like.
just like to look. And part of my problem is I think in round numbers.
Right. All right. So you're 5 years, 5 years of 500,000. Let's back that into, what is that? What is that a month? 500,000 divided by 12. So you got to do 41,000 a month in 5 years.
Yep.
And 100,000, you got to do 83.33 a month. Okay. So how do you get to the 83.33? How many shirts is there? What's your average shirt price? 25?
We're at
15? 35?
1995 right now.
Okay. So $20. All right. So you got to sell 416 shirts 13 sales a day, 14 sales a day.
Right.
14
And
sales a
so,
day gets you $100,000 in revenue. That is
yep.
that is totally doable.
No, no, for sure. And so what I've tried to do is look at it in that manner
Uh,
because again, a lot of what I've talked about with you and what I've searched out to do is just, teach myself different things. Like I learned very quickly. Social media is great to get your product seen, not purchased.
sure.
So now, uh, you're going to
Conversion.
laugh. YouTube ads are the way to go because people are searching for something on YouTube. And you and I have talked about this.
Hmm.
And then somebody else told me about it. And I was like, well, I feel like my boss or my dad or my cousin was like, "Oh, dude, here's what you got to do," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're full of crap." And then I heard it from somebody else, and then now they're going to be like, "I've been telling you to do that forever." Like, "Oh yeah, but they said it, so it was way better, right?" The next person telling you, but finding different ways, right? Talking to people about search engine optimization. It's not necessarily again, social media is great for people to see it, but they equate that to, or I anyway, equate not getting a lot of sales on social media is equal to like you're eating dinner with your family and I'm calling to sell you something. So now I've interrupted you
Yeah.
from what you're trying to do leisurely.
Right.
And you don't want to deal with that. And so now you got to figure out the other medium to go. And so we have that target. All the math you just did, we've done, and we know that it's 13 sales a day,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we could, I guess, pat ourselves in the back. Every month this year, we've been profitable.
Should. That's
We've made
hard
money,
to do.
but with the level of what Becky's created and her just creative mind for design and
Right.
the things that we've made, and she's constantly coming up with designs and you know there's a lot of uncertainty going through that, and I'm just keep telling her, I'm like, it's a great idea, we just got to keep moving. And we're two working adults in a family, got kids in college, like there's so much going on. And I'm just like, you got to be patient, right? We got to,
Yeah. Yeah.
we
These
got to
things,
push through it. This isn't something that's going to come tomorrow. Like you got to get out there,
this
right?
is the
A lot of
golf,
people
dude.
fail before they succeed.
This is the golf grid.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's exactly what it is, dude. This thing is going to slowly grow into something beautiful. Right now, it's an ugly dirt pit. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
that's what it is,
For sure.
dude.
And, but what's crazy is like the potential is there, right? Like
Hmm.
we go to market days and we set up tables and, our t-shirt brand is like a lot of t-shirt brands out there. Like we support the military because I was in the Navy and, further from that, right? So everybody's like, what's your offer to everybody? Tons of people are doing better in t-shirts, and people are always going to like those shirts because everybody wants to support their veterans, right? But Becky took it a step further. She's like, I work in the medical field, and I don't see very many EMS shirts, right?
Mm.
EMS saving lives. I don't see very many shirts about nurses. I don't see very many shirts about firefighters, right? I don't see very many shirts about dispatchers. The reason you're saved and the EMS got there on time is because that person's sitting in that room to answer that phone so that you can be protected. And she's like, nobody really talks about them. Nobody really recognizes them. And so when you go back and look at it, I was like, man, that's it's pretty interesting that you said that. And so now we make things designed for that and we put them together and we get great reviews when people come in to see our stuff at the market days, and we're sponsoring a cook off and we're reaching out to do those things to get your name out there. And you want to know what one of our biggest challenges is right now?
What's up?
Inventory. So when I go to a trade show or something and I have shirts there, right? The idea, because we're all geniuses, right?
Right.
Oh, well, I don't have any more of that shirt in that size, but you can order it on the website. And they're like, oh, you don't have it here? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay. And you're like,
Man.
just missed a sale.
Yeah, you did.
So now we're dialing in
Hmm.
which shirts do we want to bring and how many do you want to bring? So instead of offering all of your products there, pertain to the audience you're in. Like, don't go to a firefighter event and bring police officer and nursing
Yeah.
shirts, right?
No, that makes sense.
But you could bring EMS shirts to that event because a lot of EMSs are also firefighters, right? So you could kind of blend that, you know what I mean? But being very relevant to the audience that you're selling to. So those are the things I'm starting to try to learn and figure out and go through. And like she's the creative mind,
Yeah.
right? I'm the workhorse, man. Just
That's
got to go get it done.
the
And
way it
so we're
should be.
trying to figure that piece out. And it's been fun. It's stressful sometimes, but it's
Yeah.
fun, man. I believe in what she's made, and I believe in what we're doing. And that's where everything starts,
Yeah.
is belief.
So I think so there's a lot of people that are going to YouTube to try and get exposure for everything under the sun, and it's a wonderful thing. It's beautiful. I think for you guys, as opposed to the YouTube ad route, because YouTube ads are going to be more expensive, or maybe this is a combination of both. But I would go the micro influencer route. I think it's going to be bang for your buck. You'll probably get a lot more mileage out of that same ad, and you'll get the buy-in from that particular micro influencer's audience completely, like immediately. So if you could
Oh, I
find,
mean, there's gonna be another podcast that gets created out of all of this,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
There's gonna be a follow on to that, and way back when, just this right now that we're doing right now, Matt Duhon, I came up to you and I was like, does anybody we work with do a podcast? You're like, nope. Everybody says they're gonna do it though.
everybody says
Nobody's
it.
doing it. And I was like, I'm gonna do it.
What are you, 30 episodes in or something like that?
Yep, yep. You'll be number 31.
Nice.
So but originally, what did we commit to? I was like, I'm going to commit to 20 episodes,
Yeah,
right? I'm going to record 20 and I'm going to see where it goes. And by the way, I switched to a platform to host, right? So I'm host on Anchor right now, which
yeah,
is powered by Spotify. So that's where I put it
right.
because I can see better the metrics.
Yeah.
Because I know that every time I've talked to you, you're like, oh, how many people listen? I'm like, oh, I don't even care about that. Then I thought about it and I was like,
That's
well, you kind of
commendable.
do want to care. You want people to hear what you're saying, right?
Yeah, but it's commendable that you're committed to doing the work, not fussing over the metrics. And I think that's at this stage that's what you got to do, because
Sure.
it's just like building any website, or I mean, if you're gonna build a blog and go the search engine optimization route, right? Which is great. You should do that. It's wonderful. You're gonna spend you're going to spend months and months and months and years of creating content before that thing pops off. And I think it's a few years ago when I did this research, but I've had tons of blogs. One of them that I ramped up to, I got 450,000 views a month after 2 months. It was insanity. But I was scraping data off of Craigslist, and it was totally illegal, and I got a cease and desist letter. So we won't talk about that.
I wonder why it was so successful so fast.
It's exactly what it was. So that's what my thought at the time was. I wonder if how much do long tail keywords really help? And so this was really kind of a test. And so what I did was I went to the on Craigslist. They've got the free stuff, the free stuff thread, or whatever you want to call it, category. So I went to the free stuff category, and I scraped all of the data, or all the new posts for the top 26 cities in the country, and I dumped them into their own page on my website. So I had a city for Houston, a city for Austin, so L.A., Chicago, all of that, right? And I was getting about 20,000 new posts a day posted to my website automatically. I did not expect that level of action.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of blew me away. But I will tell you this: instantly the traffic turned on. I mean,
Yeah.
instantly. It was. I mean, it ran, like I said, ran up to 450,000 views a month after 2 months of running this thing. And so that told me everything I needed to know. The content on the page matters, right? Google is going to no, Google won't reward you for doing that anymore, because it wasn't comprehensive enough. I didn't have, I did not do a great job of optimizing. So I probably could have doubled that traffic, to be honest with you.
For sure. Well, now the optimization for like Google, if you want to move up in the search, right, is that search engine optimization. And as I was researching and reading, and I did a podcast with Brandon Leibowitz, he owns a search engine optimization company. Dude's
Mhm.
extremely gifted in that, by the way. He was like, "You need press releases."
Yeah,
I
I
was
like
like,
that.
"Press releases? Like, I'm not famous." He goes, "No, no, no, no. You're thinking the wrong way. Press release for you, linking your website to another website, right? Or like a blogger, or let's say the local newspaper, whatever Times is they put community events in there, have them put your website in that and say you're going to be there and here's the website, go check them out. When you do things like that, those things become long lasting press releases that now make like Google see, oh, well, this website is legit. It's not just something somebody created out
Right.
there. Like this
Yeah.
thing is being mentioned in different places. And I was like, well, I'm doing all these again. This is where I started to learn more of that. I'm doing all these ads on Facebook. And he's like, well, Google doesn't count anything that you do on Facebook for your search history.
Uh,
Like what you rank in a search has nothing to do with that. And here's me. I was like, well, but I mean, those ads are cheap. He goes, exactly. I mean, you're getting people to see it. That's great. Like you want to do that. Still do that. Like
yeah.
you need to do that. You
Should.
need people to see it. You need people to share it. You might get some sales from it. But when I look at our website, uh, we'll run an ad, traffic like crazy. Nobody's purchasing. That's
Yeah.
just because people are just looking at our stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll look at it. No, I'm out of that one. Oh, I'll look at it, right? Because on Facebook, Instagram, you're just scrolling.
Yeah.
You're not looking. And from what I've seen and what we've done to purchase, now we got to find a different way. So now our focus should be build the website. The website needs to get built so that it drives people to it and you get other people out there. So now this guy, on top of all the other stuff I do, I'm like, I need to find some classes so I can figure out how to make this better
Yeah.
because I want to learn,
You need a
right? I
killer.
want to learn how to do it.
You need like a killer lead magnet. For one, your email list is going to be like uber important, like more important than
Mm-hmm.
anything, because that's going to be free marketing. So
Yep.
for one, you need to be focusing on building your email list. And so one of the great ways to one of the simple ways to build an email list is simply acquire it. Like the same ways that you run Facebook ads. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you could do TikTok ads, because TikTok is fantastic for views, but not necessarily for purchases.
Sure.
Well, if you want to market to these people at whenever you want to, right? The email is like the holy grail, especially right now, because it's your audience now. And so doing things like creating a community is one way you can do that. But you can also go you can go buy ads on TikTok and acquire an email newsletter subscriber for like $2. And so that's fantastic, because now that same person, I mean, you keep emailing them, every time, you get a new shirt release, you're going to send that out, right? Oh, hey, here's a new design. Hey, here's a sale that we got going on Friday. And here's a free sticker, stuff like that.
Yeah. So we've also thought about that too. Like, okay, and it's funny you bring like so I've been doing the research for that as well. Like, okay, so we're gonna launch a new shirt.
Uh-huh.
Well, we need to present that to the people that have purchased from us already before it's available.
Yeah.
Like give them the pre-sale on it, right? Give
Sure,
them the
sure.
opportunity to check it out and purchase it because they're on the email list and turn that into a member area, right? We just revamped into allow people to create their own profile on the website so that you have your account, right? So that way,
Oh,
if
that's
we're
great.
doing a release to those people, they can get it, right? It's not that everybody can do it. So we're trying to get that offer a little more detailed on what we're offering to people and why it's important to look at us and buy one of our shirts as opposed to just buying another one, you
Yeah.
know?
So people will join the community because it's a community. People
Mm-hmm.
will open your emails because they're interested in the design itself or whatever. So there's a couple of different things that you need to do there, and one of them is to, especially from an email aspect, you need to follow the AIDA formula, which is attention, interest, desire, action.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
AIDA. Do I have your
AIDA.
attention? I know I do.
I
What movie is that from?
don't remember.
Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh yeah.
AIDA. Do I have your attention? I know I do. Are you interested? I know you are. Like that movie's awesome. I had to
Yeah.
watch that as a requirement to be a Navy recruiter. 100%.
But so that's it, right? And it's as simple as that. So whenever and then the community aspect, like I said, people will join the community because it's a community. So what kind of community do you want to build? And because that provides, it gives the illusion that this thing is bigger than a T-shirt. And what you guys are doing is bigger than a T-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's much bigger than a T-shirt. And so leaning into that gives these people a reason to open your email, right? Because it's not always about T-shirts. It could be about. It also gives you the license to write about whatever you want to.
Yep.
It gives you the license to help out with other causes. It's bigger. It's bigger than a T-shirt. Uh, Once that is built, these people will buy for different reasons than they would today. So
Sure.
you talk about conversion off of Facebook being pretty rough. Yeah, it's pretty rough because what you're looking for is that 100% transactional customer that just likes that T-shirt.
And we haven't
Versus
built that audience yet. And once you do, you will transact from
you
Facebook if they
will
know your
transact on
brand and they're
Facebook.
part of your community, right?
Well, exactly.
Exactly. And so that's
Because now you're sending me you're sending me that email, and you're saying, "Hey, look, today here's the shirt that we're launching today, and $5 for every shirt is going to kids meals, to help hungry kids. Like here's and then boom, okay, cool, I'm buying it because this is my version of donating, or this is my version of philanthropy
sure.
on a smaller
Absolutely.
level. I can get behind the cause.
Yeah. Tons of people will do charity other than just giving money.
Yeah, I
And it's
spent.
weird. Like I get something, like I've purchased something that is a good cause. And then the other part that happens with that is when I wear this shirt, I'm like, oh yeah, I bought this shirt. Did you know these guys give money to right?
Yeah,
And so it builds your community more. Like the word of mouth goes out there. And you got to get there. That's
yeah.
our thing. Because
I
we
know,
want to do that,
and
but you got to get there, right? And so
there's
it's just been a
there's too
grind, dude.
there's
And it
so
doesn't
much.
help that Cole's graduating high school this year.
Yeah,
Sierra's in college.
right.
You know, got to get him all ready. Like we were doing dorm fiascos yesterday, getting it all set up, making sure that it was all good to go. And, like we're getting another kid off to college. And so it's like the adage, like there's never a good time to do anything.
Yeah,
You just got to do it. And so we're doing it. Are we probably as focused as we could be on it? Absolutely not.
I know,
We
man.
need to be, but
Yeah.
we'll get there. Right. And
Well,
so,
so that's where the business planning comes in, right?
yeah,
That's where that business. That's where you can lean on your plan, and so then you can be intentional about the things that you do and the way that you do spend your time. You know, and so that's one thing that I certainly struggle with. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is no different than making that list of things to do for the day, right? How do we do that for the business over the next day, week, month, year, right? And
hmm
so then you get to cross things off that list, and then it gets back to that progress equals happiness thing. So the business is happy when it's moving forward. And if you've got this list of things that need to get accomplished and things that you want to, one, try, two, conquer, three, produce, right? Then to you're able to move that business forward in a systematic way, and that system can be applied to any other business that you create.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, man, when, so you guys are in transition right now, right?
Yeah, we're starting that process. Yeah.
Okay. When it's up and running, we need the complete team
Uh,
back on here. I want to talk about it. I'm interested to see the difference in the dynamic, right? And
sure.
selfishly for me, people love you guys. That means they're going to look at me. So why not take advantage of that too? But just to learn about it, right? In that transition and how it goes, because for you guys to make a move, dude, it had to be amazing.
It was, it's good. Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, man. So,
But it's a cutthroat, you know, we're stepping out of, the nest, so to speak. And, we
yeah,
got
you guys are definitely getting uncomfortable.
right. And I know, sometimes I need that, I think we all
Well, I
need
mean,
that.
everybody
Right.
does. Everybody needs it, but I think you both strive and thrive off of that, right?
I
Because
certainly do.
the more uncomfortable you guys are, the more creative you are, right? A
Hmm.
lot of times when people are uncomfortable, they fail because they're so stressed out, they don't know what they're going to do. You, both of you approach that differently. Like, it doesn't matter. We're going to get it done. We just need to, you guys are those people, like, I just need to figure out how this light bulb will turn on.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not.
I got it right here. It's going to work.
Yeah,
I just got to get it. Like, what's the one thing? And you guys just keep pushing until you get there, and then it gets big. And you guys are like the few people that can walk around and be like, I told you this was going to be good. I mean, you didn't listen to me, but I told you it was going to be good
that's one of my.
because you guys truly believe in what you guys are doing. You know what I mean?
Well, like when I grew up playing baseball, and my dad. I was always one of the smallest guys on the team, but I could throw really hard. I didn't throw the hardest, but I could throw pretty hard. And my dad asked me one day, he was like, "How do you have so much confidence on the mound?" Because I was a pitcher, and I was like, "It's not about. I know I can strike you out. I just need to figure out how. Like this is a foregone conclusion. Like I'm gonna get you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when, but I'm gonna get you. Could be right now, could be next time
Yeah.
you come up, but I'm gonna get you." And that, like, to me, I wasn't concerned about my ability to throw a strike or my ability to like be a good pitcher, like all these other things that could, complicate your emotions when you're standing up there. I'm not worried about if if the 4-hole hitter is going to knock one out of the park. I don't care about that. I'm focused on my job right now, which is striking you out. And I
Yeah. One
know I
pitch at
can
a
do it.
time.
100% I can do it.
One pitch at a time. And it's the chess match, right?
It's a chess match.
Yep.
And so, and I mean, life is no different. And I certainly
No,
don't
not
have
at
it figured
all.
out, but I know that I can figure it out. Right? I know that this stuff that we're going to go do, there's a whole lot more pressure on us, no question. There's a lot, we're going to have to do a lot of work. Perfect. I do a lot of work now.
Yeah.
This is,
But now it's meaningful work for you because you're back to building something that's going to be great. And so when you're building something, you're just more creative and you're more assertive and you're more dialed in, right? Like once it's working well and you get it done, then like let's figure out a way to do it better. And sometimes like even with you guys what you were doing, it was like, yeah, we can't make this better.
yeah, we can
Like
make it.
how much better do you want me to make it? Like this is
Yeah.
it's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And yeah. No, like I said, it's tough, man.
For sure, man. But yeah, so the next time we'll all get on, we'll talk about it. And before that though, we need to go play some golf, man.
I love it. I'm in.
Hell yeah.
But
Let's do it.
I do need to hit it. I've got a couple phone calls I need to return.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
dude, let's do this sooner rather than later again.
Yeah, for sure, bud.
Let me know. Let me know when you do it. We didn't even get to anything on the list. Nothing.
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter because those were just
We'll
things
get
I
to
wrote.
everything else on the list.
Those
You know
were just
what?
things
You blew the list up today. That's the problem.
I did. 100% right out the gate. Boom.
For sure, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, dude.
I love you, brother. I'm signing off. Oh yeah, we gotta